So Monster Hunter has actually had quite a bit of news this week, and I've been trying to get this video done for quite some time. However, it turns out that being a parent as well as a content creator during summer break has made it exceedingly challenging to get literally anything done around here. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the news. And one of the first news that I have to share with you is actually a bad one, and that is to say that none of the things that I'm going to be talking about in today's video relate to the performance of the game. So there hasn't really been any meaningful advances in that field, which is why the game is still sitting on overwhelmingly negative recent reviews. I'm hopeful that the team eventually can get some of this stuff down, but obviously that is not the case at this point. You guys might be wondering, Rurikhan, why are you still hopeful for it? And the reason is quite simple. I still really like playing Monster Hunter Wilds, and I want more people to be able to enjoy playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Therefore, I'm still rooting for the team to eventually sort this out. But even beyond that, I really want there to be viable alternatives to Unreal Engine 5, because Unreal Engine 5 is also an exceedingly problematic engine. So I want more publishers and developers to be able to work on their own proprietary engines so that we don't have to deal with just an Unreal Engine 5 monopoly, which, as we can see, is also not an optimal thing with Wu Chang, which also released at some point, like either last week or something like that. I forget exactly when it released, but that one is also sitting on negative reviews on Steam. At least it was when it released, due to performance issues with Unreal Engine 5. It's just PC gaming in 2025, bro. Performance issues almost everywhere. But anyways, beyond the performance issues that are still prevalent in Monster Hunter Wilds, Capcom isn't necessarily doing itself any favors with releasing the original soundtrack for Monster Hunter Wilds, which, by the way, is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. You guys are listening to it in the background of this video, but they are releasing it at the low price of 73 euros or $75, I believe, is that is the currency exchange for the US version, which is just like, bro, you understand that's more expensive than the video game. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I love this game. I love its soundtrack. I would never be able to recommend that you buy the soundtrack at 73 euros. That's absolutely crazy. Luckily, you can probably hear it on Spotify and YouTube and all of that stuff, so there's still other ways of enjoying the soundtrack, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's move right along. I'm kind of tired of talking about bad news. Let's talk about some actual good things. So, we have the reward for the challenge quest, Fleeting Bubbles, which was the one for the Mizutune challenge quest, which if you've done it, you should have received your pendant by now. So you can log in, go to the Palico that has the, all of the event stuff and whatnot, and he will likely give you your new pendant. I haven't logged into the game to get this pendant just yet. Now, Arc-Tempered Uthuna has also been around. He's going to be around for a couple of days longer, up until the 13th of August. And the free challenge quest is there, so you can also get another special pendant if you are able to score lower than 14 minutes on the quest, which, by the way, is not really that hard. I have a video where I made my latest mix set, which is actually a pretty decent mix set that does include Arc-Tempered Uthuna pieces, so you should have had the opportunity to farm Arc-Tempered Uthuna without necessarily having to do the challenge quest. But that set is actually fairly good for almost all weapons if you want to go against Arc-Tempered Uthuna, so I would recommend checking that out if you are struggling. Another thing that might help you if you are struggling with Uthuna is the Meyer Walker decos. Do not dismiss the Meyer Walker decos, because with Meyer Walker, you're able to not get pushed around by his waves, and therefore you're going to be able to dish out some more damage on him. So, that's just to let you guys know, that's going to be up until the 13th of August, so make sure to get that done if you want to get the special Arc-Tempered Uthuna pendants. And now, we come on to what I would consider to be one of the most important updates for Monster Hunter Wilds this week. Because The implications of this are actually quite interesting, and I really want to dive a little bit deeper into this one. So this is a post from the official Monster Hunter account where they say an update on release date and content of update version 1.021. The expansion of endgame content, which was originally planned as part of Title Update 3 in late September, will now be released ahead of schedule as part of the version 1.021 update. To accommodate this change, this update will be moving slightly out of its planned early August window to the date below, Wednesday, 13th of August, 2025. So what exactly does this mean? What this means is that on the 13th of August, you're going to get a lot of the endgame systems that you were actually only going to be getting in September. So the team is actually moving this forward. Now, my analysis on this is like, oh, they're moving it forward, likely because they're ahead of schedule on producing content, which means that in late September, they must have something even more meaningful to add to the game. Like, it has to be that, because otherwise, why would you move stuff ahead and then you would have less stuff to release in September? Like, that doesn't make any sense, because you want to maintain, a certain cadence of updates. If the team is able to move this content forward, that means that there has to be way more content waiting for us at the end of September. And that has me really excited, because I'm very curious, like, what are you guys doing for September? It is likely going to be announced either at Gamescom, because we're coming up pretty close to Gamescom. So they're either saving some of these announcements for September for Gamescom, or maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. I don't know what the team is planning, but they've definitely have like a backlog of content to be releasing at this point. That's the only way of looking at it as far as I'm concerned, which just has me really excited for it. But again, the biggest concern for me is still, does this include, I mean, obviously this particular update will not include performance improvements. Otherwise, they would be touting those right as the lead in. At least that would be what I would expect. But, I'm just, I don't know, man. I got a really good feeling about this. So, new level of quest difficulty, which, to be honest, is like, listen, the current difficulty actually feels pretty good. Those 8.5s, they're slapping me around real good. So if you're going to add a new level of quest difficulty, I'm like, we're coming up on master rank levels of difficulty at this point, which I'm not complaining. Bring it on. Like, you guys know me, bring it on. Give me more. Give it to me harder. I like that. But so there's going to be a new level of quest difficulty and new reward system for the above quests featuring talismans with random skill combinations. So RNG charms. As you guys know, I am not a fan of RNG charms, especially after their implementation in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. A lot of people always like to come out and say, skill issue. It's like, yeah, skill issue is not getting lucky. No, I disagree. Okay, I've engaged with the RNG charm system thoroughly throughout the Sunbreak expansion, and I was just super unlucky with the charms that I was getting. It's literally just that simple. I was very unlucky. I actually remember looking into the math at some point, because we were having this argument when I was doing content, and the odds of you getting like even like a halfway decent charm were just like beyond astronomical. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm not a fan of the RNG charm system as it was implemented in Rise Sunbreak. However, a lot of people are also not fans of the decoration systems as it was implemented in base Monster Hunter World, because a lot of people didn't get their decos. But if we look at the way that decorations were implemented in Monster Hunter Wilds, I would argue they were much more attainable. Like, I don't really think I've ever been in a situation where I was like, oh, I really wish I could have this decoration that I don't have. I guess the closest thing to that would have been Artillery 3, but I got it fairly early on. So, yeah, I think that most people have been able to get their decos. Again, the biggest complaint that I've heard from people has been Artillery 3. And Artillery 3, I think, did take me a little bit, but I did get it. And I think that most people have been able to get their Artillery 3. At least I hope so. But the point is, the random decorations have been significantly improved upon with Monster Hunter Wilds. So, because of that, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to RNG charms and how attainable they are going to be and how wildly the power variation is going to be with said RNG charms. And I can already tell some people in the comments are going to be like, well, you guys were complaining about lack of endgame. It's like, I didn't do that. Didn't complain about lack of endgame. Just throwing it out there. But, you know, because that's the thing. That's usually the argument that comes up. People are like, well, first you said there's no endgame. Well, now they're bringing RNG charms, and now you're saying that there's too much grind. It's like, I'm not complaining about either of those things. I just don't like the random nature of RNG charms. Usually. We'll see how they implemented this time. And I know, again, people are going to be like, well, yeah, this was the way that it's always been in the old games. Correct. But the old games also have an extremely different skill system, and that's not the one that we're using right now, is it? Okay, good. I'm glad we sorted that out. I know that I'm just having, like, imaginary conversations with myself. I'm, like, predicting what the comment section is going to say, and then I'm going to have imaginary conversations with you guys instantly just to kind of, like, dismantle all of your arguments. Summer break is breaking me, guys. Save me. Anyway... also, weapon balance adjustments, which will cover more weapons than originally planned, as well as other improvements and adjustments. Thank you for your patience as we prepare for this update. And here is the image. So you guys can see the title update 3 should have had new level of quest difficulty as well as new reward system, and that is getting moved along to be a part of title update 2, which is really, really cool. But like I said, that also means that for title update 3, we're probably getting something beefier than this, which is just like, can you guys imagine what the hell they're going to be doing with the master rank expansion? Is going to be absolutely wild. But I'm looking forward to it. 13th of August can't come soon enough. And yeah, but that's not all. Flamefete is also getting extended due to the fact that we're getting these changes coming in on the 13th of August. They're extending the duration of the Festival of Accord Flamefete. However, do keep in mind, this does not extend the free challenge quest of Arc-Tempered Uthuna. So if you want to get the this thing, the pendant, the unique pendant, you have to do that before this update comes online. It also means that there's not going to be any balance changes for weapons before the update comes online. So do keep that in mind. But you will be able to, you know, get more event quest rewards and stuff like that for a longer duration, which to me, it's a good thing. This is actually, Flamefete has actually been a fantastic festival. In other news, the 8 finalist weapons as well as the 8 finalist pendant designs have been chosen. So there's this insect glaive, there's this charge blade. I can't believe that the Sailor Moon charge blade was one of the things that won. You get, I mean, but this is chosen by the team at this point, I think, is like there were some finalists that were chosen by the community, then these were then, no, they're getting chosen by the team now, because these were, yeah, these were the finalists voted by the community. Okay, it makes more sense now. So you guys wanted the Chandelier Insect Glaive with, oh, it's the Phantom Kinsect is likely what's doing this. We got the Sailor Moon Charge Blade, and then another Charge Blade. I still can't believe that the Arclight Gunlance didn't win. That's crazy to me, dude. The Arclight Gunlance design was so insane. Then obviously we have a Longsword, Kazurak's Edge of Oblivion. Yeah, I mean, you Longsword mains couldn't even vote for the good Longsword. There was a Longsword design that had like a gun attached to it. Like, that was so, I don't understand. I think you guys did that just to spite Gunlance users. That's what you guys did. We have the Singularity Divider with the hammer, which actually looks really good. This is the weapon that I voted for, the Shatter Seal. I think it was the coolest looking weapon. So, you know, I think that this is likely going to be what gets picked. You know, that I still think that this is one of the cooler designs, but we'll see if that's what they pick or not. The only Gunlance that did make it too was like this, I think it's based on a peacock or something like that. Looks cool, looks nice, sure. And then there is a Switch Axe. These were the 8 finalist weapons. Interesting that there's 2 Charge Blades in here, considering that a lot of people complained about not enjoying Charge Blade in Wilds as much as they did in World. So it's interesting that then you get like 2 charge blades as the finalists. Then we have the pendants. I think that the SOS meeting pendant is one of the coolest ones. Absolutely. I voted for this one. Then there's the Wildless Explorers. Then there's this thing. And the Lagiacris friggin' floaty pendant is crazy. Black Flamelet also looks really cool. And then whatever this thing's supposed to be. And this... these are some crazy looking sides. Oh, look, a little duckling. Little duckling with water and yeah. So these will be implemented into event quests later, and one of these is going to be made, at least I think it's one of them. One of the weapons will be made into the game, and one of the pendants will be arriving into the game as well. However, news this week is not exclusive to Monster Hunter Wilds, because just yesterday, this is what we got.
Is proving fatal. The encroachment threatens to drive our people out of house and home. But this divide has brought our 2 kingdoms to the brink of war.
And you are the sole Rathalos rider in Azuria.
My people have been driven into a corner, and the point of no return is looming before us.
Can't afford not to go. I cross the meridian and keep going. But it won't be for long.
I can hear them. 2 sounds. Overlapping each other.
Monster Hunter Stories 3 was announced yesterday as the opening game of Nintendo Direct, which was absolutely fantastic. I didn't expect a Monster Hunter Stories 3 announcement. I was going to say this soon, but I was actually looking over social media yesterday and somebody brought up, this game did, the Monster Hunter Stories 2 came out in 2021. That was 4 years ago. Time feels like it's on fast forward right now, okay? It just feels like we're on fast forward to the finish line. Like, what the hell is going on? Years are going like that. But, yeah, so Monster Hunter Stories, for those of you that never played Monster Hunter Stories, which, by the way, is currently being heavily, I'm assuming heavily discounted, because they usually do these. Oh, yeah, that's 19 bones, 25 bones for Stories 2. Actually, it's less than that if you don't take the deluxe stuff, which you don't really need. None of this impacts gameplay. But, like, I would heavily recommend Stories 2. I haven't really played Stories 1 through the completion, but Stories 2 was just so absolutely phenomenal. This is a JRPG. This plays very differently from the original, from the mainline series of games. It is turn-based combat. You go and you hatch, like, you find these eggs of monsties, and then you train them up, and in a way it's kind of like Pokemon, except it's actually good, because the team making this actually has passion for what they're doing, unlike Game Freak with Pokemon, who they just don't give a crap about the franchise they're working on and all. So yeah, this is just like really, really solid fun. You guys can find a ton of Monster Hunter Stories 2 content in the channel, including even a PvP match between me and Gaijin, if you guys are curious. So yeah, heavily recommend. Can't wait to get my hands on it, and it was a great announcement to cap off the week. It actually made it worth it for me to delay making the video, because now I also get to talk about Monster Hunter Stories 3. The official Monster Hunter account also talked about a little bit more about what you can expect from the story, featuring a voice protagonist, a deep narrative with morally gray characters. I'm all about this. I love, like, the whole getting into the kind of like the politics, so to speak, of the guild and the world of Monster Hunter. You can see that there's like conflict between two kingdoms, and we're actually using hunter weapons in a way that they're not meant to be used, in case you guys aren't aware. I mean, even in Monster Hunter Wilds, I think they mentioned this, that like you're not supposed to use these against other humans. That's kind of like what we're seeing here, right? The two kingdoms shooting off arrows against each other and whatnot. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. This is good stuff. But they say here, deep narrative, morally gray characters, a larger world to explore, and an evolution of the Monster Hunter Stories turn-based combat system. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection takes the series to new heights in 2026. Can't wait to jump in there and just get started with it. It's going to be phenomenal. The official website has also been launched, but it doesn't really have any new information. Just has Twin Rathalos born in a twist of fate. But yeah, those are the news stories of the week related to Monster Hunter. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comment section down below. You guys excited for Monster Hunter Stories 3? Do let me know in the comment section as well. But for now, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.